Okay, good lighting, good everything. Oh, I got pocket.
Has pockets.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, and today we are going to discuss the top travel mistakes you need to avoid. What's up, everyone? My name is Salwa. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and joining me today. I am a full-time digital nomad, aka full-time traveler, and I have been traveling full-time for the last 3 years, and I've learned quite a few things to avoid when you are traveling. Whether you are traveling full-time or you're going on vacations, I am hoping that these tips will help you save some time, energy, money, and more. All right, so the list that I'm gonna share with you is not in order per se. I'm just gonna share these travel mistakes because I actually have made most of them. All right, so the number one mistake is to not do enough research about safety. For me, this is a priority because I travel alone all the time. And so doing research about safety is paramount. I prefer to stay in an area that would probably be a little bit more expensive, but I know it's more safe than being somewhere far away where I'm gonna be all alone and have a hard time to get help if needed. I've made a mistake once where I booked an Airbnb in Turkey. I thought the area was pretty touristy, so I figured it's gonna be fine. And next thing you know, it was very sketchy. No one was there, and at some point I went to have dinner with some friends, and around 8 p.m. I had to go back home, and I was terrified. There was no light. I was trying to look on my phone for the map, and I was just really scared to be jumped. If I had known this ahead of time, I would definitely not have booked that Airbnb. The next mistake is to not have your phone fully charged at all time and to carry a backup charger. This is very important. You're gonna be in a situation when your battery is going to die, but at least having a backup just in case will really help you out. Next big mistake is to overpack. I know this can be really hard. Even for me, I have been traveling for so long. I only travel with a carry-on now, but it's sometimes really hard because you think you might need all of this. But a quick tip for you, if you haven't used that item in at least 1 month, do not bring it with you. And sometimes you will find what you need on site. Like, you don't necessarily need to bring your curly iron and your hair dryer and all of these heavy things. You will just find them there. So do not overpack. That's gonna cause you to have a luggage that's overweight and paying fee. So you gotta be very careful not to overpack. Next travel mistake is to arrive at night in a country you don't know. So if you are a solo female traveler, I highly recommend to arrive during the day because arriving at night, we all know it's always more dangerous to arrive at night. More sketchy stuff can happen at night than during the day. La la la. Next travel mistake is to not check in the night before for your flight. Check-in is actually very important. It's just to secure your seat on the plane. Don't wait until you get to the airport to do that when you can do it beforehand. Hello, hello, fellow. This is Tushy, everybody. I always check in the night before. You can do this 24 hours before that, so make sure you check in. That's gonna add you an extra layer of security so you'll know you are secured on that flight. A lot of time when a flight is overbooked, a lot of people haven't checked in, and so that's another reason why you want to check in before so that can secure your seat, hopefully. Next travel mistake is to travel during peak season. Try to avoid that simply because it's overcrowded, therefore more expensive. I try my best to always travel off-peak season. That's better. And the same for the week. Try to travel the slowest days of the week. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the best days to travel. And it's also a lot cheaper to travel those days as well. Another travel mistake, everybody, and that one I paid a price. You need to make sure your passport has at least 6 months before its expiration. Otherwise, you might not be able to actually travel to your destination. So let me explain. One time, my friend and I had booked a flight and a whole trip organized to Nicaragua. At that time, I was traveling with my Belgium visa, and it was expiring within the next 3 months. And I actually had no idea about this until probably 2 weeks before our flight. So I only had two options. A, risk it. That means if I get there and they won't let me in, I can lose everything, the flights, the hotels, and my friend would have been really pissed. Or I needed to get to the embassy to renew my passport. The only problem, and I was in New York, the only problem at that time is that in order to get my passport renewed within the timeline, my only option was to fly to Belgium, get my passport in 24 hours and fly back to the US. And guess what? I did just that. Because when I equated the amount, it would still be cheaper for me to go to Belgium, do my passport and come back, or to lose everything else. So I highly recommend you double check and you get your passport renewed within those 6 months before the expiration date. Next travel mistake is to not ask for the price of your taxi before you get in. So a lot of countries are, you know, corrupt, and they just decide how much they're gonna charge you based on your face, basically. So either you ask to have the compteur. I just dropped my computer, my camera. The meter. So make sure the meter is on in your taxi, or simply ask before you take your cab, so that way you're not surprised if they decide to overcharge you or whatever. You'll know the rate right before. And for my solo female traveler, quick tip for you: when you get on a taxi and you're by yourself, pick up your phone, even if you're talking to yourself, and just say, "Hey babe, yes, I'm in the taxi right now. I'm gonna be there in about 15 minutes. Oh, I'm looking at the map so I can see and I can track the taxi so I can tell you where we are." Sure. Yeah, and the taxi number is 54372. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Bye, babe. Love you. Bye. There we go. So that way, you let the taxi know, because they'll be listening. If they have any bad intention, trust me, they'll be listening. And they'll know that someone is waiting for you. Next travel mistake, very important, is to not having a backup of all your documents. I recommend you take a photo of all your documents, make a photo, save it in a saved file, like a hidden file on your phone, or somewhere where it's requiring a password, so in case somebody trying to hack into your phone, they don't have access to that as well. And the other thing is have a physical copy. I recommend at least two, one that you keep on you at all time, and the other one that you keep in your luggage or at home in case something happens. You have backup documents, and that will protect yourself. Next travel mistake is to not have health travel insurance. Highly recommend it. If you get sick or anything happen, you need to be covered. I recommend to use Safety Wing. They have a plan specifically for digital nomad and travelers. I think it starts at $49 a month, and so I highly recommend you use them. And I'm gonna leave my link down below, so you're at least covered if anything happened in the country you are traveling to. My next travel mistake for you is to carry all your cash on you. Big mistake. Make sure you divide your money and your valuable in different places. I also recommend to have a dummy wallet. If you are going to a place you don't know, carry with you a little dummy wallet where you put a couple of dollars in there, an old card, something, and if you get robbed, you can always give that to that person, and then you keep the rest maybe underneath your clothes. I like to get my fanny pack. It's often underneath my clothes so people don't really see what I have. But do not keep all your cash on you. That's a big mistake. Make sure you protect your stuff at all times. So always try to be as prepared as possible, because you don't want these things to really ruin your trip. My last two travel mistakes for you are to overplan or underplan. So the way I like to travel is to plan the most important things that I want to do, like must have, I have to do them if I travel in that location. And the rest, I kind of leave room for the unexpected. So right now I'm going to Mexico. I haven't planned anything except that I know I want to go see Chichen Itza, and that's really important for me. Everything else, I'm going to be more open and go with the flow, and I'm sure I'll meet people. Hey, no, shh. When you overplan, you actually not even enjoying what you're doing. You're just crossing a checklist. Okay, scene, taking photo, next. This is, to me, this is not a way to travel. And underplanning is also bad because Toshi, know, because when you underplan and you haven't figured out what you want to do, the next thing you know, you're there and then you realize you needed to make a reservation or it's overbooked or whatever the reason is. At least have a few ideas of what you want to do there. That way you're not disappointed that you didn't get a chance to do the things you wanted to do. And my last travel mistake for you is, especially for my ladies, is to get completely wasted and party so hard that you black out. And this is how you are welcoming a lot of bad things that can happen to you, including being stalked, being abused, being raped, and so on. So be very careful. Watch your drinks. Do not over drinks. I understand going out and having drinks. I love to do that myself, but be very careful of your surrounding. If somebody's buying you a drink, go with that person to the bar so you can see your drinks. Make sure your drink is always covered, and when you're not there, if you have to go to the bathroom, either you're taking your drink with you or you drink it before you go. But be very careful, because you really don't want anything like that to happen to you in a country you don't know and when you're by yourself. All right, those were my travel mistake list. Please let me know if any of these were valuable to you. I would so appreciate. Do not forget to subscribe for more content about full-time travel and how to make an income while you work remotely. Subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.